So now we're going to go through a bunch of live examples. And so what I'm going to, before we even get into the video, I'm going to kind of show you what, so Ryan Small runs this company that's now called Defy. It was called Lax Shooting Academy. And the way he teaches is very fundamental based, very much so like those, the Russian tennis players. And so what he'll do is he'll have all the players with no ball take a knee, and they'll line up like this, right? Elbows forward, sticks parallel to the ground. He mentions that this is how far you want it because you want all of these lengths to be even. Forearm, bicep, they're even so that you can get the most power and precision out of what you're doing. And you have them sit there. And so in his clinics, which he charges a good amount for, he will have them for 5 minutes like this. I can imagine some pissed off parents, right? And so then what he does is he'll have them move to here, and now he holds with 90 degrees. And so the key is that 90 degrees meets forward and through. And then he'll have them finally stand up. And as he's doing it, now he just has them here again, step through. And then he has them at 90, step through. Then he'll actually bring them up like this and have them stand so they're sideways so that they get used to hitting this spot. And then you're coming through to 90, through. And so what he does is, this is why I got this whistle. It's an electronic whistle. See if this is the one that works. Yep. So he can go, ready, go, and they go. And so I think I've got an Instagram post on it. I should have pulled it for this, but as they're doing that, they're only learning the technique. They don't need to worry about the ball. And it's important because they want to learn to feel it, like we mentioned in that talent code book. But so, within our passing and catching technique, this is our elbow. Oh, you can't see that at all, can you? Not one bit. Let's see.
I can see it on TV.
Oh, sweet. Cool. So, within the elbow forward, your elbow is here. And the reason that I tell guys, and this isn't something that Ryan specifically teaches, but as I was watching him coach kids, I noticed that it was implied. So he always talks about quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, how as they go up to throw, their arm hits 90, and they come forward and throw through. But the key is, why elbow forward? It's because my hand can't go anywhere else. I can twist and turn as much as I want, but if my elbow's forward, I have to go straight. And if my elbow's forward and I'm at 90, now it's straight and it's going the right direction that I want it to. So if kids can learn that first, everyone's better. Every single thing they do will be better. And so this is just me hitting the bounce backs that we just got, trying to go elbow forward. Now notice, even in this first one, it's tilted a bit, but so my elbow kind of looks like it's out a bit. And I don't think that's an error. I don't think it's because of the camera angle. I think it's because I have my stick like this a little bit. So if I'm here, I think it's actually about right here as I'm coming through, because this is just me catching and throwing, and I think that's where it is. But the key to that is, which hand am I? Right-handed. So as this goes through, then notice how my left hand looks. Left hand looks a little bit better. Now, why would that be?
Your left hand is your non-dominant hand, so you're used to working it perfectly. You got that technique down.
Exactly. Because my left hand, I had to teach my left hand. My right hand was my brother and me in the backyard taking balls and shooting at a doghouse, right? So I was always sidearm right-handed. Pretty good sidearm left-handed too. But so the other thing I want to show you is right. See how it's pointed? My stick's pointed away, and then I rock into where it should be, which is here. And so as you guys are teaching this, you want them to be here and paused and then come straight forward for the drill. You don't want them to rock into it. And so left-handed, let's see if I do it a little better. It's I still rock a bit, but I do hit my spot and come through. So now it's 90 degrees. See if I hit it. So arm's pretty good out like that. My stick's still going the other way, kind of. Left hand looks better. So now this is a turn away drill. This is just something that I want to go over because I think it's important. The idea is if I want to catch the ball sideways, I want my stick in front of me as I'm presenting it. But if I'm like this, here you go, Mike. Oh, and he throws it, so I'm here, and he throws the ball in front of me. I want to be able to make sure the face of my stick is open the whole time. And what you'll notice is that kids always want to do this. They want to go get it instead of letting them accept the ball. So this drill helps players learn how to accept it. And you can do this with partners as they just turn to throw. And so the other thing is on the throw, what we're working on is we're working on the same exact technique of come up to here, get to 90, but now throw through straight as you turn it. So I have to throw this way. I don't want to do this and then throw it. I want to come up to the same spot and throw it straight. That's basically that one. Okay.
So, hey, Coach, real quick. So the things we always see when we try to get kids to 90 is they're either not at 90, right? So when you're coaching that, they're always kind of wanting to let their, especially little kids when the stick's a little heavy, their arms come down. So always push them back to 90, okay? The other one we always see is either the wrap, where they wrap their stick behind their head, or they leave it out further, right? So when you're doing those drills, make sure you walk around to each kid and make sure they're at 90 and their stick is, the butt of their stick's pointing where they're going to shoot or we're going to pass, right? So those are a couple of coaching points that you guys want to look at as you're doing that just 90-degree drill. And again, start without a ball, and I guarantee you'll see the same mistakes, and then you'll correct those, and then you'll put a ball in place, and you'll have the whole same mistakes all over again. So just know that building that foundation, and that will get you away from all kinds of bad things like sidearm shooting and just craziness that, we have to break those habits at the high school level.
Yeah. Question on that, because I've seen kind of more on the catch, it kind of broken down a couple different ways for younger players. One is gripping up closer by the head,
Yeah.
so you got better control, but then you want to be in that triple threat position as you get older.
Yes.
So what's your take on how to teach it at like a kindergarten age? You want to have success so they keep going, but at the same time you like to teach them the proper technique.
For kindergartners, the first thing, have their stick strung well. Bottom line, have it strung well. Because if they get one of these sticks, they hate the sport. And so every single practice that you have with whichever kids have terrible sticks, they have to, you got to tell the parent, you invested how much money in this? How much are you paying the Spartans or whoever the organization is? How much did you pay for the helmet? How much did you pay for this? And you won't spend an extra $30 to get it strung so that he actually enjoys the sport. Because if the pocket is terrible, everybody hates the sport, right? It's pretty hard to catch a ball with a tennis racket. The next thing is, here's how I teach kids at that age. Have they ever played football? Have they ever caught a ball playing baseball? Any of those things, I ask them which ones they do. And it doesn't matter what they say, because what I'm going to tell them is the same any time. Have them hold the stick like this. If they're used to a mitt or they're used to diamonds catching a football, that will read perfect. And then their hand has to move. And over time, they can move down. And then they can move to here. But so for a kindergartner, I'm here. Even for sophomores in high school who have never played, I still start there. Now, are they ever going to do that in a game? No, but they're going to be able to catch it, right? And the other thing I'll mention on that is you can't put two inexperienced kids together to learn how to throw and catch, because then, they just throw it wherever they want. So the videos I think you guys will be able to use the most that we'll get to is how to mitigate that with those younger players. Is that, yeah? Yes, you do want to get to there. The other thing I'll mention is for younger players, tape the butt end on, or you can do it like this. I like to tape underneath it and then put it on. it'll keep it on there as they're playing. And then mark their elbow spot, mark that spot. Don't let them tape all the way up the stick. Then their hands will find where they need them to go.
So ultimately, the goal is that they're in that spot all the time, though, right?
Yes, we'd like them to be able to catch here. Now,
From right there, they're not sliding their hand at all.
no, they are sliding. Well, no. So you never want them sliding. Never want to do that. That's why you want to put the markers on their sticks.
But I mean, like I have kids, my son, my younger son's, he slides his hand up to catch, slides it down to throw.
That's good.
And
That's
I'm trying
fine.
to get him though to just, okay, you can catch now, so now let's just catch here, and then you don't have to have that slide.
Yes, it's good, but so he shouldn't. So you want them to be able to move. So the key is, if my hands are here, I'm still good to go. So if I'm trying to catch, if I'm coming off a pick inside, my hands are probably going to be choked up so that as I come and put my stick back, it doesn't go past my head so that I'm not here letting checks come. But as long as the distance is the same, now you're on par with where you want to be. But because the biomechanical way your body moves will allow the snap to happen.
So then this brings up another question. Is that the same for a long pole?
No.
Last year was the first year I dealt with a pole longer, and I was like, I don't know how to teach you how to throw with this thing, because
So here's how it is for a pole. So for a pole, it's elbows length, hand goes under. So you have about this much more. So it's about a hand's length more for the control with the pole. That's how I've learned to do it. So when I was learning all of this, I was training a kid, a pole, who's now at Bentley University, played for Valor. But so I had to figure that out by using what he'd done. So his technique was really good. And where he was comfortable was that spot. So that's what I take that from. So it's not like I did any research on that. That's just kind of where I found it. But the idea is that you want to keep it as biomechanically perfect as you can. The other thing I'll mention, because the other mistakes that we'll see is, and that you want to do with the guys, is when you're here, as the snap goes, don't have them follow through. Bottom hand to top hand elbow. This first. Then you can go here. But so if you get kids, we've got our best attackmen and one of our best middies do this all the time. They try and get fancy and they try to look and lean and leave it out, but they don't snap their hands over. So if you see a kid whose hands stay apart the whole time, he's not snapping. You want him to snap it. It's the same as the basketball. Snap the passes. Snap what you've got. And that's where, for kindergartners or young players, is that you don't want to have them together. You want to have them with someone who's experienced so that when they do snap it, or on a wall, when they do snap it, that person can handle it and get it back to them so they're all right. And then once you start throwing it back to them, they'll be able to work with each other once they have basic.
Yeah, I guess kind of with that, right? Generally, I'm sure I'm probably going to have some kids who can catch and throw to a certain extent, but the vast majority are not going to be able to.
And your first thing shouldn't be catching and throwing.
My first thing I think is grounds. And crazy.
Yes, stick. So have you been to the POWLAXMasterCoach.com website?
I've not been to it for
The circle dodging drill. That'll be perfect for your guys. It'll let you train everyone and get them using their sticks correctly. So let's see, where were we? So now I want you guys to watch this guy. So now he's in this spot, and so now we're doing, this is just a shooting drill, but I wanted to show you, now that we have the form, now we're going to add the movement. So the player goes to GLE on that side, and he's going to sit, and he's going to step away and use his form to throw his pass. And so I'm not quite sure exactly how his form looked on the feed. But so I think he's at almost 90, about 90 degrees. He's not coming straight over the top, but that's kind of the idea, is you want to be able to add that in and see the shot. Pretty good, 90, snaps, and you're about. So the idea is 11 to 5, 1 to 7. is where you want to come through. So, but you have them start perfect so that they'll rely back on it. Okay. So now all these are basically going to be drills and kind of ways that you can do things. So none of you will do this, but I want to show it because it's one of the drills we do. This is a throwback line drill, but these guys are doing it tandem. So a throwback line drill is basically you line up 3 guys in a line. This will be a good one for you guys. And you have them run out, do a dodge, roll back, throw it back to the line behind them. This is an example of 2 of them where they actually run at each other, pass the ball to each other, and then roll back past to their own line. So it takes the cognitive abilities of adding it to both lines. So we'll start with this one. Good. Player throws it to the other line, gets it back. Now he does his dodge, throws back to his line. I thought this was a pretty cool example. This is, you can add GBs to it too. This is another Hill Academy drill. Do you guys know who Hill Academy is? So they're a Canadian school? Well, yeah. He's like, I do. They're good. Pretty sure it's Hill Academy, yeah. I think it's where I took most of them. Okay, so then now triangle passing. And what I want you to watch on this one, triangle passing is just an easy drill. Watch how far they leave their line to go get the ball. I think that's something that we want to keep them near their lines, but they leave. And so each one has its own skill. It's got their own technique, and each one is focusing on the technique. But how far away they get from their own line, they're almost to the other line. But it's teaching them how far to run to go get the ball. And these are basically just examples of things you can do to kind of get everybody's mind moving.